caramely inside?
Caramel. I don't know.
Caramel? I say caramel. Caramel. Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel. Ooh.
Caramel.
Okay. Hello, my friends. I'm Dana. This is Words That Move Me. That's my dog Wristroll, aka Riz. And I'm stoked that you're here today because I'm joined by one of my favorite artists / humans, Tiny One. I'm joined by the one and only Smac McCreanor, who believes that I have the most well-behaved dog on the planet because for the whole episode, Riz was like asleep and chilling. And now I'm keeping this in, Smac, so that you know what we are really up against. She's a demon. She is a representative from Cute Hill, the ambassador of Cute Hill. And it's going to be hard for me and you to focus, but this conversation is solid gold, my friends. You get a behind-the-curtain look at Smac's mentality, the way that she works, what she thinks is funny and good, what she thinks is bad. I am excited to watch this episode, and I hope that you are too, because I know you are. Let's just jump right to it. I'm going to celebrate a quick win, and then throw to you to celebrate your win, and then we're talking to Smac. Okay. My win today is that we just had a fantastic open house, like town hall conversation with the Choreographers Guild and Courtney Ortiz around plagiarism, specifically for dance educators. We're establishing a working group for educators because the Guild itself is the collective voice for choreographers, assistants, and associates working in film, TV, commercials, music videos, and tours. We don't have a branch specifically for educators, but after recent events, which I will link to in the show notes. I'm trying so hard to focus, y'all. The Choreographers Guild is creating a working group for educators. Riz? And that's a big win. Okay, that's me. What are you celebrating? Go. Okay, congratulations. I'm so glad you're winning. Now, I think without any further ado, we get to this conversation with the one, the only Smac McCreanor. That was my hydraulic press. Really quick.
You're good.
Are we doing it?
We're doing it. Happening.
Smac McCreanor, welcome back to the
Thank
podcast. Oh, I love it. We got the attention of the little one.
It's
Hey,
happening.
Tiny, hey, little girl. That's my friend Smac. And I've got little pugs on my little socks. It's been
Later.
a really big day. She ate something she was not supposed to eat this morning on her walk, and now she's going to have some matcha. Be careful. We're really responsible pet owners, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
You are an excellent pet owner. Two-time bunny mom right now.
Two. Yes, I am a
I did
two-time
stutter
bunny.
2 times.
I'm a 222 bunny.
We're pet moms, but that's
Yes.
not the only thing we share in common. We are also multi-hyphenates. We are people who do many things.
Jazz Plus, that is you. I always think of you whenever someone's like, what kind of dance style do you do? I'm like, and then I never remember it until after. I'm like, dang it.
Should have said Jazz Plus. Because that really is what it
Dana
is.
Wilson.
What is the majority of your dance background? Would you say that it's jazz? Yeah.
Just jazz and tap, nothing else.
Yes. And then plus idiocy on
Yes.
the internet. Plus
Professional idiocy.
wildly imaginative use of the internet. I'm just going to put it at that. But that's how I would describe you on the podcast, as you recall, because you've done this before. How would you introduce yourself?
Oh my gosh. I think at the moment I'm saying performance artist. However, it makes me feel so weird saying that sometimes because you automatically think very serious.
Marina Abramovich and
Modern
stuff like
art.
that. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's definitely not what it is. So physical comedian, performance artist.
Love
I
that.
think.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I think we're going to go with that today.
That sums it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And since the last time you were here, you have had some pretty big shit happening in your performance movement comedy. What'd you just say? Bring the tapes
Physical
back.
comedian.
Movement artist.
Yes.
Okay. In your physical comedian movement artist life, you've had some big events happening. A New York Times article that is so flattering, dude. I want everyone to, and not
I
just
couldn't believe it.
And I don't mean that as if it's like not deserved. Really well written. Like everything is true. and it is flattering, and it is so great. And I was just like, that's my friend, and I was so excited for you. How did it feel to read that?
Actually, I mean, just like yourself, you've probably done multiple different media things, article things throughout life, just for different things.
Yep.
And it felt like, oh, cool, I'm just doing a Zoom interview, which is something I've done a lot of in the last year for media, specifically around the art gallery exhibit that I have.
Which is also on the list of big cool shit that's happened, yes.
So I was like, okay, cool, it's about that. And the Zoom interview that I did with Margaret, who wrote it.
Margaret Fuhrer.
Yeah.
She's so great.
It was like hours long. And she was
Nice.
asking me all sorts of things. I was like, first of all, this was like therapy. She was asking me about my childhood, everything. And it was so thorough. I was like, wow, that was interesting. But I felt like I rambled for 5 hours. So I couldn't, when you like black out and you're like, I don't know what I told her. I probably told her my deepest, darkest secrets. What have I done? And then it came out and I was like beyond flattered. It was
so handled with care. So
I couldn't
thoughtful.
believe it. I didn't think it was going to be that thorough at all. I thought it was like, art gallery thing, but it was about like my whole life.
It's about you.
Yeah, I was really blown away. Yes. Yeah, I had no idea it would be like that intense.
Oh, I'm so glad that happened for you and by her, and that Margaret is one of the editors-in-chief of Dance Media. Mm-hmm. She hosts a podcast.
She has a pat too.
She hosts a podcast. She also hosts a podcast called The Dance Edit, or she co-hosts it. And I really love the way she covers dance and dancers with so much respect and reverence, and is cool.
That's a good word, is respect. It just felt like she knew what she was asking and she knew what she was writing about. And honestly, I was like, wow, if this wasn't even me in the article, I would thoroughly enjoy reading it too, I think. It was just like, that was really nice.
Yes.
Thanks, Margaret.
Crushed it. Linking to that article in the show notes of this episode. Talk a little bit about the museum in Victoria. What is it called? The
National Gallery of Victoria.
It's in my notes, but my hands are full.
NGV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to cut it short, that's the biggest art gallery in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere. It's like one of the top world international contemporary art galleries.
It's in Melbourne. Stop by if you're in town.
Yeah, which you do because it is the top of the list thing to do in
Right
Melbourne.
on. Okay.
And like as a kid, I used to go there all the time. I didn't live in Melbourne, but every time you go to Melbourne, you go there because there's a lot of free exhibits and it's just awesome every time.
Yeah.
So they reached out over an Instagram DM. Now this is a few years ago, like because it took a year of working alongside with them before it even opened. So 2 years ago, they reached out over DM and I didn't reply. Because it wasn't an official account. It was just like a la-di-da, we want to do a thing. And I was like, okay. And in the back of my mind, you're like, oh, I'll reply to that tomorrow.
Yep.
But it didn't
for
seem,
weeks.
I didn't look into the person who was sending the DM. It was a private account. I'm like, okay. Then I got an email and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to reply to that guy. I'll think about it. But just so you know, I wasn't seeing the words National Gallery of Victoria. It was just said NGV. And I'm not thinking about what that means because I'm so detached from Australia these days. It's like, haven't thought about that gallery since I was a kid. Yeah.
I'm thinking like non-gluten vegan. Like that's
yeah, exactly.
what I
I'm like, well, I'm not really into non-gluten vegan.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I kind of overlooked it in a way, but it was in the back of my mind. And then I got a DM on my pet rabbit Instagram account. And I was like,
okay, I'm paying
these
attention.
guys are really trying to reach out to me. And then I did some Googling.
Oh my God.
And then my jaw dropped. And I was like, wait a second. This is NGV? Like where I used to go on school excursions? Like this is what? And so then I looked up the guy's name and he's like one of the head curators there. And I was like, wait a second, this is not a joke. What is going on? And so then it unfolded from there. And it just turned out that they, every 3 years, they have the triennial exhibition, which is like roughly 100 artists from around the world, the top contemporary artists, as they kind of advertise it as. And they were like, we're interested in having you part of that collection. And I was like, okay. And then fast forward, like we do a year of like correspondence and, working together. And then they wanted to meet in person. So they came to LA for lunch. Now, I might be exaggerating, but that's how it felt. They're like, yeah, we're here for lunch. We're going to meet with you. And then we're meeting with Yonzi, the musician. And I was like, what the? Anyway, maybe they came here for some other reasons too. But I'm like, they came for lunch to meet with me.
They sure did. They sure did.
Yeah. And
wait, where'd you go for lunch?
At the LACMA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Which was just like already cool.
Yeah.
And
that restaurant is really special. It's gorgeous.
And so I met with the director of that gallery, the whole gallery, Tony, and then Miles, who was the curator for my work. And I'm getting goosebumps now kind of thinking about it because I haven't thought about this lunch for a while. It was kind of a while ago, but the way that they were giving me the respect about me and my work and saying that, like, because usually it's like, oh, we follow you, but they were like, no, you are one of a kind. And the words that they were saying was really mind-blowing to like hear from the people of that caliber, because I have a lot of special people in my life, like yourself, who have a lot of credibility, and to have you compliment me or give me props or something is awesome. And then to have some people like them from a different world, like I'm not in the art world.
Art world, dude.
And to have like they're top of their game.
Rewriting that.
Yeah, like they know what they're talking about. And to have them say, we haven't seen a performance artist like you before was crazy. So that's when I really was like, oh, this is a serious thing. Yikes. Something is happening right now. And then they showed me the blueprint of how they want to exhibit it. And I was like, what? I thought I'd be a QR code in the bathroom or something, which I would be happy with. I thought I was just on a program. Yeah. And they showed me the layout. And
was it like a floor, a wing, a room?
Yeah, so this is a 4-level gallery. It's massive. And when you walk in, there's a gift shop and there's a big cafe, and then there's a huge open foyer that's the entrance. And they were like, we want you in the cafe. And that is the busiest place ever. I think there was 17 life-size vertical screens of me all throughout the cafe, all on the walls. And then it was looping 100 of my videos just over and over. So everyone was just like looking around. And that
max smack.
Yeah, it was like, maxed out. But my favorite thing is the cafe isn't necessarily where like would be the first choice for a lot of artists because it's a little bit like less serious. But for me, it worked out absolutely perfectly, because if it was in like a pristine white room, I think people might have taken it a little bit more seriously. And I'm like, no, this is meant to be interactive. This is meant to be engaging and kind of funny
and discussed and social.
Exactly.
And like one of my favorite places to go. It's noisy and it's like you stir conversation. And I think like the only thing I love more than your videos themselves is to scroll down into the comments a little bit. I love the way that you engage in your comments and with your comments people. And I love the way you bring people who quietly like to comment little snarky shit, how you bring them to the front of your work.
Oh, it makes it so easy.
I love how you've screen grabbed and like brought, oh yeah, like you think you get to comment on that? Okay, you're invited into the work now. You're a part of the work. You're an involuntary collaborator in the work now. It's meant to be discussed. It's meant to be like social.
It's interactive. The reason I got to the gallery is because of the audience. Like a huge part of that is because it was spread. Like these people wouldn't have seen it otherwise. Like this is actually a group collective effort. And a lot of the comments that I used to get were, this needs to be in a gallery. And so I used to actually reply to those comments with video being like, put me in a gallery.
I remember that. That was actually probably around the last episode we did.
Maybe, yeah.
Really, truly. We might have even talked specifically about that. I should have re-listened to that episode.
Me too.
Yeah. It kind of brings up the question of who decides it's art.
The audience did. That's what I'm like, because to me, and as yourself, we're multi-hyphenate, so we're always like, we're artists.
Yeah.
But when I start putting stuff online, I didn't think, like, I'm putting it up because I'm kind of quietly laughing at it. I'm like, that's funny, I'm putting it up.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, everything that we all do is for an audience. You're an artist, you have a product to show and share, sell, whatever. So it is meant to be seen. So I'm aware that there's going to be an audience.
Yes.
I kind of already didn't care what they might think, but I didn't think that they would majority all be on my side.
Yes.
I actually thought most of them would be like, what the heck is this? Which they are. But majority of people were like, wow,
it's not
this
like,
is
what
art.
the heck is this? Like, what is this?
Yeah, I think they were more, they understood the tone, which was, thankfully, that's what happened. And a lot of people were in on the joke. It felt like an inside joke. So all the comments were like, this is art, with like the sparkle emojis to make it like, this is art. And I'm like, that's exactly how I was intending it to be. So just knowing that the audience kind of got that, and that's what made it spread. And it kind of was like meme style. So it made it easy to share. But really, like, it was because of the internet that it got this far. It was an inside joke that millions of people were in on, and it was really fun to like play that game with them.
Yeah. Man. My brain is going 8 different ways right now, but the first one that I want to say out loud is that I have a dear friend who is an art historian, like has her degree, writes, she's a critic. She like gets paid to criticize art and write about it. And she's brilliant. Her name is Catherine. She's a G. And this is probably like maybe 10 years ago now, asked her to make me a pitch deck, like a slideshow presentation of all of the times art has successfully made fun of itself. Mm-hmm. I was like, can you point? Because I started a company. I mean, I did. I don't know how successful, but I started a company like 10 years ago called the Bureau of Nonverbal Communication. And we were a dance group who was a fake government agency that would show up at dance studios and be like, have you thought of? Like, and we had all these tools and fake made up devices for measuring and protecting dance. And so a big part of me at the time I was investigating, freshly off tour with JT, investigating what is my relationship to dance, if not behind someone looking sexy and helping them look sexy too.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. So a lot of investigation for myself. And I found that a lot of what I answered that question with, I didn't really love.
Wow.
Dance is like hyper aggressive, super duper fast, really articulate, really musical on the accents of the, like, do we have to? And I had a lot of issues. So I was addressing those issues with the Bureau, but I didn't know how to make fun of dance without being mean about dance.
Yeah, because
so
you are dance as well. Like,
yeah, I love it. It's my favorite thing. So I have, and we'll share with you, but not you. Maybe I set up a paywall. Maybe, obviously, I would have to let Catherine in on that. I will share this document with you.
please.
But I would put you at the top of the list of people who poke fun at art with art.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
self-aware. And I think, that's why we click. Seaweed Sisters is, I think, a really good example of that as well, where it's dance, it's performance, self-aware, it's humorous, it's playful.
It's also well executed.
Exactly.
So you're not allowed to point fun with no skill or no technique or no awareness of the thing that you're poking, of the tool that you're using.
Yeah. Because
Like-
I think, like, especially online, anyone can post anything. And you, especially because dance has blossomed online, which is really awesome.
I love the word blossomed. It's
Like,
nice you're holding a flower
It's
pillow.
blossomed. But it really has. Like,
Yeah.
it's so accessible.
So accessible.
It's so broad now. We're seeing a lot of good and bad, which we could segue into the Olympics.
We're gonna avoid it for this conversation. We're gonna.
But we're seeing all sorts of things, and I think it's a natural kind of dad joke for probably a lot of people to dance like funny.
right.
Like everyone grows up being like, "Oh, I'm a dancer."
Yeah.
Everyone has that at some point from someone, right?
Yeah.
We always like mock dance.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it.
I know a lot of really great dancers who do that really well.
That's
like jigging, like bad dance.
That
jigging.
is a skill that
It's a
I've
real
kind
thing.
of, as a kid, would make fun of the people doing that. But I'm like, that's where the comedy is for me.
Yeah.
Like actually dancing badly, but you're professionally trained. Because it is hard to take away the skill.
No, you can't undo it.
Yeah. There's a lot of layers there.
Oh, that's actually a very interesting question.
Like a professional bad dancer is hard.
I think actually some of the work that the Seaweed Sisters do is untraining.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I relate to you guys a lot. It really is.
Yeah.
It's like not perfecting it, but absolutely killing it.
Yeah. or answering with what comes out first instead of refining over and like,
Yeah.
I've worked with you on a couple videos before and I'm always relieved and impressed at your accept it mentality versus like again. We need to do it again. We're never shooting for 2 hours. We're maybe setting lights up for 1, but then it's like,
Yeah.
the first or second take is like the take. And that's partially, I don't know, maybe it's the release of giving fucks. Like I think another thing you do really well is the art of not giving a fuck. You could have probably wrote that book. Haven't read that book. But I like the way you approach making things, aware that an audience will be there,
Yeah.
aware that they will have an opinion, and seems from the outside not so much caring about what that opinion is, or is not caring about other people's opinions a part of your fiber? Like, is that a part of your personality, or is that something you work on? Is that like,
I think it's something I've thankfully had since I was a kid. Maybe we talked about this last time as well.
think
Like
so,
the way I
anyway.
grew up creatively, I feel like I had no other input, no other expectations, no pressure, no feedback from anyone. It was very by myself, and I thrived in that.
Yeah.
No one limited me, which is a blessing,
Yeah.
but also I had no guidance, no mentor in any way at all. So I'd watch stuff on TV, and that's what I was inspired by. It was very much Australian comedians, physical comedy,
yeah.
whatever. Not really dance. Fosse I love, but I was never really inspired by dancers ever.
yeah,
Music and comedy was what made me move. But I think I'm really lucky I didn't have that growing up where people were like, actually, you shouldn't do this, you should do that, whatever. It was not a strict environment in my dance studio at all. So I was very encouraged to play. And on top of that, somehow I was successful with it. So like even local dance competitions, I was winning.
yeah.
for certain things.
And you were like, okay, that works.
Exactly.
I'll just keep doing that.
And no one ever questioned it. So I was super lucky with that upbringing. As I got older, I think I realized that I just am really aware of my strengths and weaknesses. And I'm like, what is the point of doing something I'm not very good at? Like, there's so many amazing people that can just do that instead. So I'm not going to stress about trying to perfect something that I'm not going to do.
Lean into the thing that you're already really good at.
Yeah, I'm a lazy hard worker.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And if we're going to keep going with these oxymorons, what you do is also easy and not easy, and hard but not hard.
Yeah.
Kat Burns is famous for that. That's how she
Yes.
explains her work. Easy, not
Love.
easy, hard, not hard.
Yeah.
I dare you, listener, viewer, to turn a camera on and recreate all the emojis with your human body, or to go walk down the aisle at IKEA and do like the shapes of IKEA furniture and tools with your body. It's easy, not easy, hard, not hard. And there's something, one of my favorite artists, Tom Sachs, is the first time that I heard this. I don't know if that's his own philosophy, but in a lot of his work, there's this idea of 1 + 1 = 1 million. You have dancer, you have IKEA furniture, modern bodies in shapes of IKEA shit. 1 million. The value of that is way
Wow.
more than dancer and IKEA diagram. The same thing with hydraulic press.
Yeah.
Shit getting squished, awesome. Everybody loves it. It's evergreen, right? I could watch videos like that forever. Add you, 1 + 1 = fucking 1 million. And that is easy, not easy, hard, not hard. I've tried doing a 1 + 1 = 1 million 85 times with like different concepts, a character, a this, that. And listen, y'all, it's not easy. It's not easy.
I guess it helps me that I wasn't aware of that format.
But it's kind of, I know, it's easy to say after the fact that that's what's happening.
Yeah, it was
But-
kind of a fluke. But I think there's still so many different strategies involved. So when you're saying like the IKEA thing, so you have modern dancer and IKEA put together, to me the only reason that works is because of the music choice, the timing, and the comedy. Otherwise, that is really a dumb video
Right.
online.
There are other ways that it could have gone horribly wrong.
It could have been serious and to like a Dua Lipa song.
Funny.
That doesn't
I'm
work
laughing.
to me.
I'm laughing.
Damn it, I can't.
Yeah.
No, that was a bad example.
You're too good at this.
Damn it. But I think that's why it's hard for me to say I'm a comedian because there comes a lot of expectations when someone claims to be a comedian. But I do think that comedy and timing and humor is what drives everything that I do. So that's what I'm first thinking of. The performance is the easiest part. Anyone can do, a lot of people could do what I'm physically doing. But I think the timing is a huge thing. It's like, no, this only needs to be 10 seconds and it needs to have no rehearsal.
Right.
Like, I think it's kind of those elements that make it work. And yeah, I think I honestly, and I know this is cliche to be like, I'm creating for myself, but 100% these videos for me, I'm my biggest fan. Like, you have to be though. Like, I'm mentally aware that I have to be my own biggest fan. Otherwise, what the heck am I doing?
Yeah.
I generally love every part of the process that I'm doing because I'm doing it for me. And I know that sounds so dumb, but it's so real.
No, it's so real. And I'm just...
It's just
I
a
know-
bonus that other people like it.
okay, here, this is interesting. First of all, we definitely talked about the play element of TikTok in the last interview we did. I'm remembering now. You called it a sandbox. You were like, Instagram might be where I put like my finished stuff, but TikTok is where I play.
Well,
that's
now
where I,
that's expanded to all social media. I think it's the
all of it
rehearsal
is your
room.
sandbox.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So I think on the last one I talked about, and I've talked about on the podcast 1,000 times, so forgive me if you're a frequent listener and this is boring you to tears. But for over a calendar year, in 2014 to 15, I did a daily video on Instagram. Daily, usually it was dance, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I loved doing fake commercials.
Oh.
I remember being in German and the sugar packets, Zucker is how they say sugar, and this one said ass sucker. And I just couldn't get over it. So I did a commercial for ass sucker. And I loved I got so excited. And I used to have been paralyzed about, like, I could have ideas all the time, but rarely shipped them. Like, rarely put it out in the world because
It's overwhelming.
contrary, care a lot about what people think. And this has helped me at some points and hurt me at some points in my life. I eventually stopped. I stopped after 421 consecutive days. The fuck? And I stopped because I was watching my face during all the B-roll, like in between takes, because I have a rule, always be rolling. And the camera is just always rolling. And I would scrub and watch all the footage. And I was looking at myself fucking miserable. Like by 420 days, I was like dead inside and just really liked the results that I was getting. I liked the muscle that I was strengthening, but I didn't like doing it. I didn't like setting it up, deciding, like I didn't like it. And I know that you love it because you share often the B-roll part, like the you building the thing, not the end result. I'm thinking specifically of a hydraulic press video. I don't know what was in the press, but you're wearing green. And Ryan comes home in the middle of it. And it might be my favorite.
I had my leg up and I had a hair dryer.
And you have like,
and I was using
shit tied to
Amazon
your leg and you're like,
Amazon packaging to make water. It was a thing.
And you are enjoying yourself and he walks in and you're like, ha ha.
Is that so normal?
Moment that you're having.
It's so normal, but it is really fun the way it's set up where I film. The front door is far away, but you walk in and you can just see me like, what?
What is it now? What is it now? What a treat for him to never know what he's going to walk into, but to know that it's always just going to be like absolutely delightful and obscene all at once.
A little side note.
Please.
I don't really put any, I mean, what I'm doing is kind of beating people. Like, no one can really bully me because I'm beating them to it. Like, I am making a fool of myself intentionally. So if someone's like, you look stupid, I'm like,
Duh.
I know.
Given, yes.
That was intentional. So I think that helps with not...
Wait, sorry. People say you look stupid?
Oh, I'm sure they do. I wouldn't know. That was an example. I'm sure someone has said that many times.
Another one that I really loved, I used the example already, but somebody calling you out for seeing the videographer's shadow. They're like, I see the videographer's shadow. And you were like,
no, I was like, got to make this video.
We're talking about it.
Strategy.
Yes.
I was in bed. Obviously, I'm always in bed. Because I repurpose footage. We've talked about that before, and I never not want to talk about that. Strategy, repurpose footage. I'm just basically doing nothing all day because I just repurpose. But so yeah, I did a video of me roller skating with my friend, and it was just an Instagram story.
Yeah.
And it was not planned. It was just me roller skating outside. My friend was filming it and it's a bright sunny day, and her shadow was on the ground.
It's so funny.
Which mine was as well, because shadows are a thing that happen in sunlight, I'm pretty sure. This guy messaged me and it was like, oh, I mean, it was a long paragraph, long paragraph being like, this looks unprofessional. At your status, like, you shouldn't have shadows in your videos.
You should follow these rules of cinema.
Yeah, it was like, this is your life now. Instagram is your portfolio. You can't be having shadows. And I was like, okay.
Instagram is clearly your portfolio, sir.
Yeah, so...
What a narrow slice of the life pie this person has. Carry on.
That, to me, is the most fun type of response, because I'm like, great, now I have another video to make.
Yes.
As you said before, I'm very motivated by people. And I'm not
the
trying
engagement by whatever people give you. It's just engagement.
Because then he referred to me as like, you wouldn't see Blackjack with shadows in his videos. And I'm like, wow, this guy's mental. Because I'm sure he meant Jack Black. And then why, out of all people, is he the person?
Why Jack Black?
Also, I love Jack Black.
Love Jack
And
Black.
he'd recently started following me. So I'm like, what is going on with Jack
it's so
Black?
exciting.
So then I was like, how can I make a video response to this? Because it's so specific that that's peak comedy to me.
Yeah.
Just that message by itself. But I'm like, oh, well, obviously I have to show what he's talking about. So I need to use the roller skating video. And obviously I'm not going to go outside and film a video.
Nope, you're
I'll
using
just
the
use
same video. Yes.
But now, because there's one shadow in it, how can I make sure that everyone knows that there's shadows in my videos? So that
Framed like more shadows.
I just put like silhouette clip art of shadows all through it. But responding to comments really motivates me to create more. And it also it sets the tone.
Sometimes it's a prompt for you even. You do choreography
100%.
made by the comments. I love it. That's another 1 + 1 =
I love that idea because I think it originally started because obviously unsolicited advice is a thing online. And that might be my biggest pet peeve when it's boring advice. When it's something like you shouldn't have shadows, I'm excited because I can use that because it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
When people are like, hey, you should be wearing a jacket. Might get cold. And I'm like, what? What? This is me dancing inside in a video. What? Why would okay, Dad.
Oh my God.
The dull, unsolicited advice. I'm like,
stop. Okay.
Okay. That is a pet peeve. But yeah, so I think the series you're just about to talk about, where I basically let my comments tell me how to dance.
Yes.
Happened because someone was probably telling me how to dance.
Yes.
Like I did a thing.
You
they're
should
like,
blah, blah, blah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You should do it like this. And so I'm like, okay. So then I respond doing it how they want. But then obviously I would maybe make fun of it physically, but take it seriously. I don't know. And then and then it started with, I'm like, okay, you guys can help me make an 8 count of dance. And I was trying to explain what 8 counts mean on TikTok or whatever. And it just grew and people made all these different suggestions. But what I love about that series is like, yeah, they're giving the suggestions on how to dance, but the creative direction is where that's driven by comedy again. It's the timing. What song can work with this? I usually just have a playlist of songs and I choose the music first. And I'm like, okay, so what fits in here? I have to make sure there's some sort of regular dance movement so that I'm not just jumping about like a fly. So it's like, the grapevine, the shuffle step thing. And I'm like, okay, do a couple of regular dance moves and then throw in something like you've been electrocuted or you're a chair or something.
So you structure.
Yeah,
you're
the
deliberate
structuring
about the structure.
And to be honest, I don't think people really appreciate. Not only the people who will appreciate that
Are
the cool
choreographers.
people. And that's what I like. Regular people have no idea. They're like, wow, we are so funny. And I'm like, okay. But I'm not like worried about them. Like,
but
the people that
if
matter,
you're gonna
get
give
it.
the people the power,
Exactly.
let them have their power.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
then they go crazy in the comments. So I'm like, okay. But I really love that. And I have a lot of screenshots of all the comments. And I'm like, I'll use that one time. And then making like a contemporary version or whatever. It's really fun.
I love it because as a choreographer who gets paid to choreograph, I don't actually like the act of choreographing. It's like I didn't like going to school. I just didn't like going. School
You
is
can do
fine.
it.
I love being a choreographer on set. I love having the choreography done. But like making the 8 counts,
Yeah.
don't love it. If somebody else could do it, I would. Or prompt. It's so genius.
Yeah, a prompt has always helped me anyway.
It's
and
like
I'm
a
sure,
good lazy hack also.
But and then also like basic 101 strategy for the internet is using like the way that the feature that you can use a comment to create a video works really well.
I've never done that.
What are you doing?
Can we teach me how? Teach me how after we're done. Is it really? I've never done it.
It's so effective because as a viewer, this is how I know it's effective because I want to watch it.
Yeah.
So like when someone will have a video and the comment goes, "How did you make that cake?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, how did you make that cake?" And then you end up watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It already has the answer in the video, basically, and the answer has come from a peer. I mean, a regular person.
Right.
So it's just it just feels so engaging, and it's like you want to see the next part of this story. That's how I view it whenever I see a video with a comment in the as the the main part of it. So I already knew that that's a really effective tool. So I'm going to use that as much as possible, and I use that for funny prompts. I use that for people being like, they just say yellow. And I'm like, all right, here's a yellow video, and I
Yes.
just do whatever the heck. And a lot of them, like, I almost deliberately don't do what they were actually asking.
Of course.
So they were asking yellow because I was dancing as a blueberry or something. And I'm like, well, let me make sure I do yellow socks now, which is not, I don't know. Like, I just try to change it to suit my narrative, but it's the best tool.
I can't wait. You're going to teach me. I'm so excited.
It's the best tool.
Okay, I want to give the people what they want, as if they aren't already getting it times a million. I went to your website, and by the people, by the way, my viewers, I'm assuming right now they may be different because you are here, but in general, the people who are watching, listening, are aspiring dancer choreographers, and they want like front row seat to learn from people who've been there, done that. And when I was prepping for this episode, I actually did prep, believe it or not. Right now, I'm just laughing at you and like just getting.
I didn't prep.
Perfect. You're doing so great.
I did, but we'll see why later.
Oh, that's right. We have something prepped. We're very close. We're getting it very close. I went to your website, which I love, by the way.
Haven't looked at that for a while.
It's really nice. And I don't remember what the menu items were, but I think there's a line item for commercials. And I clicked on it, and I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I think you might have just listed all the commercials in the world. I don't know. I was like, surely this is
Not the
a list of
German
the
sugar
commercials,
commercial.
Not
I
ass
wasn't in
sucker.
that.
But sincerely, you must have done 50 commercials.
I've
or
done
more?
over 70.
Over 70.
The last time I counted.
Okay, yeah, ridiculous. So for the people listening, watching, do you have... God, it's such a simple question, but advice or pro tips and tricks for commercial auditions and or being on set?
Yeah, for dancers, do
Yeah.
way less, way less. It's really specific sometimes. Like, let's think of an Old Navy commercial that just came out this week. There's probably like 10 girls in it, all different shapes and sizes, in jeans. And there's really amazing dancers in there because I know some of them.
Jalen Sands is
yeah,
in there.
yeah, she killed it. But they're doing really clean, simple stuff. But that, to me, is an example of a big dance commercial. That's like the most dancing I've seen in a commercial, and it's barely anything to us as professional dancers and choreographers. So I think once I realized I have to do less, it's all about this and basically nothing else.
Oof.
It really is.
Hard truth.
That's why models get booked as dancers every time.
Hard truth, which
And actors, because you don't need to actually be able to dance well. There are times, like maybe there's a Adidas sneaker commercial and they want a backflip. Yeah, that's like skill-based.
Yeah.
But most of the time they want this.
Yeah.
Over the shoulder smile if you're a girl. If you got
A
long
step
hair.
touch, a bop.
Yeah.
Like a chassé.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So if you have the ability to, like, if you can get down and funky as a dancer and you have more aggression with your dancing, definitely peel it back, because unfortunately Target and people in the Midwest will be super intimidated by that.
Yeah.
As cool as it is,
Yeah.
you got to dumb it down.
Yep.
You got to water it down.
Yep.
But obviously this day and age, I am seeing more dance-based commercials where they do want something a bit more stylized.
Edgy,
So
yeah.
you can be edgy, you can be stylized, but it's like, I mean, smart choices.
But your belly button's not out.
Oh.
And you're like, dancers, I think in general, our way
we're
is like
comfortable.
lots of skin, lots of this is our body. Just turn on the TV and watch commercials for a little while.
Never.
You will not see a belly button unless the commercial is literally Pepto-Bismol.
Never. Yeah, the fittings I'm in for hours and hours and hours where they're absolutely totally concerned about me having open toe shoes because it's too sexy. This was for a paper towel commercial that I did. And I'm dressed
The
as a
fairy
fairy.
one.
Yeah. Probably
Whoa.
6 hours me standing there trying on different shoes with all these clients and like director and everything. And they're all females and they're all like, it's too sexual. And I'm like, God. I'm wearing like a 12-year-old heel and it had a slight open toe, really clean cut shoe, and they were saying it's too sexual. So I'm like, if that, and you don't even see my feet in the commercial.
You're standing behind a counter.
Yeah. So but yeah, absolutely. Dancers, we are really comfortable in our skin. But that's the best
Blessing
research
and
is
a curse,
watch.
though.
Yeah.
Any strength, if overused, can be a weakness. That
Yeah.
degree of comfort and
That's great for backup dancing.
yeah.
Music videos, but obviously if
is
you're
a
auditioning for
different
a
skill.
commercial, watch commercials and really see you literally, and I wouldn't say we have to be cookie cutter anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but there is still a real clear level of like, okay, well, they're only going to have.
Appropriateness.
Yeah, exactly. So makeup, hairstyling, clothing, it plays a huge part in it. So it's like kind of have to really water it down.
Yeah.
And once I just realized you have to do way less.
Nice. Thank you for that. I'm channeling for myself. I want a commercial this year. Another? I can't remember when was Jersey Mike's.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
That was last year.
Did it come out?
Yeah.
Where is it? I want
Oh
to
my
see.
God, it's delightful. I will send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
wanna
It's
see.
so funny with fucking Danny DeVito. It's ridiculous. He's
I
this big.
seen
It's ridiculous. You might have. I'm dressed like actual
Because I
MC
remember you
Hammer.
telling me. Maybe I saw it.
Oh my
and
God,
that's-
it's so very funny.
Let's
Here.
all book a commercial this year.
Let's all book a commercial by doing less this year.
Yeah.
And it also was not a ton of work on set. It was like 1 hour of intense, like we were doing 80s party dances.
Yeah.
But I mean, broke a sweat twice.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, being on set for commercials, I mean, they vary so much. But I think if you're mentally prepared to sit down for 12 hours, you'll have a great time.
having a great time.
Yeah.
Speaking of having a great time, are you ready for this next segment?
Oh my God.
Okay,
Just
so
pet fur everywhere.
yeah. What rhymes with smack, everybody?
Smack.
Snack. Yeah, snack.
Oh, wait, you said what?
Smack. Smack.
I said smack.
What rhymes with snacks? Smacks. We are doing a new segment on the show after I reviewed some Canadian with an M, Canadian chips on Instagram. My friend Mason Tang, shout out, love you Mason, was like, yo, podcast spinoff? Like I would watch this all day. So I asked Smac to bring some of her favorite Australian snacks, which you used to talk about a lot on Instagram also. You did a lot of reviews of Australian snacks and
'Cause I
talking
love
about
them. So
Yeah.
anytime I go home, I'm like, this is what I'm eating.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, yeah, I really actually love it. This is just what
Okay,
was
yeah,
available
this
that
is
I
what-
could find.
This is what I was like. I think at the same time we were texting each other cost plus, and you were like world market, and we're doing it. We're doing an Australian taste test. I'm so excited. Where are we starting? Let's just like left to right, and then we finish with the palate cleanser, which is the sparkling beverage.
Yeah.
Or do I drink the sparkling beverage in between to cleanse the palate?
One sip now,
Great.
and then the rest of it later.
Love it.
Okay,
One of these
cheers.
is for you.
So this is
It's Riley's birthday.
Riley's birthday. This is Bundaberg Lemon Bitters. This is the best drink.
Lemon bitter. Oh, I love it already.
This is usually better when it's freshly made at a bar.
That's fantastic.
It's just like a soda, but it's lemon and lime and bitter.
Bitters.
Exactly what
I love that.
Okay, let's do a caramello koala.
Yes.
I already had two of these before we started filming.
Yeah. She was like, I
ASMR.
did open the
You just stopped talking halfway
Riz
through.
like that. Yeah, you did tell us. Oh, adorable.
It's a koala.
Caramely inside?
Caramel. I don't know how
Caramel?
you say
I say caramel. Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel. Ooh.
Caramel.
Okay, you bite his head off?
Yeah.
Very Rolo-esque, but a different shape. The Rolo I don't love so much because you have to bite into it, which places all the caramel in your gums.
Not practical.
Not practical. This is way more effective. Also, the ratio of chocolate to caramel, spot on. I can see why this is a sensation. Crowd pleaser. Wow.
Childhood favorite for sure. They had a really cute commercial too.
When you were a kid, did you watch commercials?
Yeah. Did you not? That's all I watched.
Well, yeah, because you couldn't skip them.
Yeah.
I remember I really wanted to be in a Lisa Frank commercial.
What's that?
Oh no, I'm dated. I'm so old. Lisa
Different
Frank.
different upbringing.
Stickers, binders, notebooks.
Oh, it's a brand?
Yeah, brand. Dolphins, ponies, unicorns. Like very girl. Like, yeah. And there was one girl who maybe they were trying to pass her off as Lisa Frank. Oh, I think so. I'm Lisa Frank. I think she said that. Blonde. The blondest, most all-American thing you've ever seen. And I just thought she was the coolest. Great scrunchies all the time, big bangs. I wanted to be in a Lisa Frank commercial so bad.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I obviously didn't know what Hollywood was. Why would I?
Right?
Thought it was just a made up thing in movies. But so I didn't have the Hollywood dream of like being in movies or TV shows, but there was a few commercials that I'm like, I want to be in that.
Like what?
The Good Guys commercial, which is kind of like a like where you buy fridges. What's a place here where you would buy like appliances?
Best Buy?
Best Buy. It's kind of like that. Yeah. It's Best Buy. It's called The Good Guys, and the song was "Come in to see the good guys. Pay cash and we'll slash the prices." But it was a musical. They're doing cartwheels off the fridge. Yeah, it was exactly.
You're giving me good guys vibrations.
Exactly, but
I like
good
it.
guys. And they're doing cartwheels into the fridges. They were doing like lifts. It was really tacky, self-aware, hilarious dance
It's
musical.
exactly your brand.
Yeah,
Do they still exist?
yeah, they still do commercials like that, and I've always wanted to be in one.
Speaking it to
Good
the
guys,
world.
I know I'm not there anymore, but I'm available. That was like,
It's happening.
That
It's
was my
definitely
childhood
happening.
dream.
It's definitely happening.
yeah.
Great.
Okay, the next chocolate one.
Yeah.
These are two
I
different
breathed.
flavors.
I breathed on that.
I touched it. Cheers, big ears.
Cheers, big ears.
Big ears?
Love this. Okay, which flavor is this? It's a Tim Tam.
I don't
know
know. Caramel as well.
that. I was not expecting a gooey center.
Tim Tam caramel flavor.
My God.
When I was a kid, Tim Tams only had one flavor, which is original, which is just chocolate. And now, since I've left, they have all these amazing flavors.
All the flavor. Whoa. What's the most extreme flavor that you've seen? Who says extreme? What do you mean extreme? What is even extreme?
I don't know.
What's the flavor that you're most jealous that you didn't get to experience?
I can't remember the list of flavors.
If I was okay,
There might be. Oh, there's like
I'll
a cherry
answer-
one that's good.
oh, that sounds good. I'll answer on the Oreos front because I'm a grown ass person with self restraint. I have walked down the cookie aisle and I've seen what happened to the Oreo section.
Yeah,
It's out of control.
that's how Tim Tams basically.
It's truly out of control. And I saw a pumpkin, sort of pumpkin spicy, kind of pumpkin themed Oreo. And I really want to try it. I really want to try
Well, why
it.
don't you do an Oreo episode? Get sponsored.
There it is. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about that really quick. I love the way I know you did not sign up to be the influencer police. Like that's not a job that anybody would pick me. But I love the way you keep brands accountable and are sharing, at least with close friends, maybe. I don't know if you do that all publicly, but
I pick and choose.
I love the way that you try to bring some etiquette to the business. Some no, you cannot ask me to do that, and you should not ask people to do that. And so I'm saying no, and I'm going to show the world that I said no, and here's why.
Yeah.
Have you always cared deeply about a moral compass and felt like an advocate? Is that a thing that's been a theme for you?
Yeah, I think only because when I moved to LA 12 years ago, my bread and butter really has been commercials, and I just learned a lot. I really learned a lot about usage and terms and stuff. And I'm not the biggest advocate, but when I see dumb stuff, I'm like, guys, are we falling for this? And I think being around people like you and, everyone who's working with the guild and everything, it kind of inspires me to also hold accountability to speak up if I know I can and I know the facts enough to speak up. Then I'm like, why not share my experience? Maybe it'll help someone else. Because I learned a lot being things like learning about in perpetuity and things like that where I got screwed over and I learned from experience.
Contract terms. Please read your contracts and ask your agents to read them also if you have a hard time reading.
Yeah, because they're really confusing. And I've still
they're
now...
designed to be confusing.
Yeah.
They're written in legalese and we didn't go to law school.
No, and it's always changing. There's always new terms and stuff. So, but yeah, now I am doing more work and opportunity where it's sponsored content. And there's a lot of kind of gray areas still around that. And so I'm kind of careful with it. But there's so there was one time, which you would have seen in my close friends. I share a lot in my close friends. Hopefully it doesn't get out. But yeah, so I think it comes to I make videos, and if they go viral, then that's when companies are like, we
Jump
would
on
love
that.
to...
you and Darwin, the bird.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, well, we would love for you to kind of recreate this, but how can we incorporate the brand? And so this one time I did a video, it went viral, and I won't say what it was in case people can really figure it out. It was in my close friends. Just because I don't care about this brand, but whatever. And they were like, oh, can we send you an outfit? And then this will be a paid ad. And you can make a video like that. And I usually do stuff where it's imitating side by side. So it would be me performing something that already exists, which is an animal or an object. But I'll be wearing that outfit. And then the contract, I'd signed it and everything. It was pretty low budget, but I also like don't mind because it was a video that I already know will work because it's something I've already done and I was planning on doing it anyway. I'm just in their outfit now. So it really wasn't hard for me to do.
Thank you for wardrobing my video.
Exactly.
That I was
mine is perfect. And then the contract was they will have it on their channel. It would be 3 months usage so they can have it on their social media for 3 months as a paid promotion. And it's up to them if they want to do the paid promotion part.
Got it.
That's like on them, but that's what they're paying me for basically.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, cool. So then immediately I was like, well, the other part of this video isn't something I own. So I was like, are you going to reach out to that person and pay them? And they're like, well, we just want you to use this. And I'm like, yes, this is an email thread.
That belongs to someone else.
Yeah. I could tell immediately after the first email response that this is like an intern who doesn't know enough. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put my big boy pants on here, make sure I school them
moment.
Because they were just like, oh, you just use that. And I'm like, no, that is someone's video. You've got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like I will get in trouble. You'll get in trouble. Like, come on, it's common sense. So I put them in contact with that person and they organized a payment thing. And I'm like, cool, I'm getting someone else paid for this. Cool. I always try to make sure that happens because it needs to. So they did that. And then they were like, great, here's the outfit. You will use this song. And I was like, oh, I do have a copyright clearance on that. And they're like, yeah, it was great. You can use that song. And I'm like, okay. I was kind of fished out by that, but I took their word. And I'm like, well, they said they had copyright clearance. This is their ad. So I don't know. It is a big company. I'm like, cool, I'll create to it. So I made the video. They actually asked me to refilm it with a different thing. So then they sent me a different thing. And then I was like, okay, whatever. So I actually ended up filming it 3 times, which isn't a big deal for me. But it was just like thinking back, I'm like, yeah, if I really wanted to be annoying, I could have been like, this is fine. Like this first video is totally fine. You're being weird about it. So anyway, then I did it to the song they wanted. And then they ghosted me for a while. And then eventually they're like, oh, we just showed our boss the campaign and he said we can't use it because of the music. And I was like, you idiots. I'm like, so what happened to the last month of communication where you've messed up? And then the workaround is, well, we can't use the song on our channel. So can you post this just on your channel? It won't be on our stuff. The contract stays the same. Obviously, it's an ad still. Like I have to do the paid partnership #ad. But they just won't put on their channel because they don't have copyright clearance. And I was like, that's not how it works. I don't have copyright clearance.
Right. What would happen to your account?
Yeah. I mean, technically, maybe nothing would happen. But this is a paid
Because
promotion.
they're a business and you have different kinds of accounts?
I don't know. No matter what, if it's a paid ad, you have to have ownership of everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, I can't use the song either. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. Just don't
So
#ad.
don't say that it's paid.
So now they're like, okay, so now they don't want it to be on their channel. They don't want me to explain, to disclose that it's an ad, but they want to be tagged in it. And I was like, well, no, because actually FTC rules, I think it's FTC, right? Even if it's a gift outfit, you have to acknowledge it now. You have to say that. So that's an ad even. So I'm like, you guys are dumb. I can't tag you and then use this song. And I'm like, none of this works. It either never gets revealed ever, or you get copyright, or I terminate the contract and you don't have any ownership on any part of this video at all. And I'm sending you the outfit back, which I did.
Work.
So for me,
that took me on such a ride.
Yeah, for me, the budget was low enough that I was like, I don't care. I would rather just have a video for myself that's probably going to go viral, and then me and the person that I'm collabing with the other side, we can just have our own content and use it forever.
Yes.
So we ended up just doing that.
Great.
So I terminated the contract. They didn't pay me because I terminated it.
Yeah.
It meant that it wasn't even a gift anymore because I sent back the outfit because I didn't want any part of it because that's if anyone was going to find out, you know.
Yeah, that gets muddy.
And then, so then now I just have a viral video that technically could have been an ad, but it wouldn't have been viral as well because, you know, paid partnerships don't get the reach. Not that that's why I'm doing it, but like, yeah. Anyway.
Is that true? Paid partnerships don't have the same reach. They're deprioritized algorithmically.
Definitely. You have to pay for the reach. Like, so the
Oh,
companies
right,
will pay for it.
I see.
But just from my experience, if you've done like a thing if you have a hashtag ad, I'm only judging by my stats, but it's definitely very different. But that's probably because there should be money involved. So
Yeah.
Meta wants you to pay
Yeah,
for the ad. Like
makes
they want the
sense.
brand.
I mean,
to pay.
it's
Yeah.
disgusting, but it makes sense. I say that it's disgusting because 95% of what I see on my feed is ads of things, not even paid ads, but like I know they're all paid, but not even collaborations.
Yeah, not content ads, like
just
create ads.
fucking ads. Shall we eat more?
Yes. Okay, we're doing it.
Okay, what's next? Oh, we're doing it. I'm going to do the one without cheese first. So this is Vegemite.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm going to like it.
Yeah, it's just like saltiness.
Why do people freak out about that?
Are you acting right now?
No. I like it. I like salty. It's very yeasty.
The cheese is better.
Oh, okay.
Because then it's just like a security, a security board.
First time, Smac said the word charcuterie for the first time in these walls
And
today.
never again did I say it right.
No, the first time was it.
Now all I can think about is security, but with a SH. Security?
Charcuterie.
I don't care.
Yep. That's very good. Mm-hmm. Added a sharp cheddar on top.
We had a win with Vegemite.
Delicious. Yeah. I like it. I knew I would. I like salty.
Yeah, it's soy sauce. That's how I describe
It
it.
tastes like soy sauce.
So a little bit of soy sauce on your...
Also,
Oh.
this bread that you brought over felt like when I put my hand in the bag to pull the slice to put in the toaster, it felt like
It's a
mattress. It felt like, yes, I'm sorry, I forgot to hand you that.
No, I didn't need it. It's okay.
She's so
It
scared.
felt like a Tempur-Pedic pillow.
It's
and I
cloud bread.
want to take a nap on it. Right?
Why are people freaking
Why do people
out?
freak out about that?
Americans are
We
so
love it.
dramatic. Yeah.
I don't know if I love it, but it's like fine.
It's like soy
It's fine.
sauce. It's just a salty...
I love soy sauce.
Yeah. Oh my God. So excited.
If you ever need somebody to eat that food with you, I will do it. Okay, let's do the Kit Kat and I'll ask a question.
Okay,
while
this Kit Kat I haven't tried actually before because Kit Kat's the same in Australia, like kind of Oreo. They have so many different flavors.
Okay.
So this is Milo flavor, and Milo is like a Nesquik in Australia, but it's a bit more. So it's like a chocolate
Chocolate
malt. Yeah. So.
Mmm.
But I haven't tried this.
Whoa. Milo?
It's like a chocolate malt drink powder.
Very malt. Oh my God. I
Milo
love
is so
that.
much better just by itself, but I'll eat it.
It's my favorite segment on the show ever.
Did you have a question?
Oh, right. I had a question. Okay, so you said earlier, and I know you were kind of joking, but I'm very curious about this. As a person who feels constantly busy, like I am busy and I get tired a lot, and I'm not in bed as often as I would like to be, but you were like, I'm always in bed. But also you've done 70 commercials and you are prolific in your work. You said that at the museum they showed 100 of your videos back to back, which isn't even all of them, not even close to all of them. So how would you say you manage your time? I know you're not a person who, you've talked about this on the Kinja's podcast, which is a quote that it's a video clip that I've seen 1,000 times, talking about not having goals, which I'm very curious, does that still hold up?
Yeah.
Okay. Not like an aspirational type. I was having lunch with my friend Halima Dodo. Shout out, Halima. I love you so much. And I was like, there are different reasons to dance other than to be better.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and
I've never even thought about that.
She was like, what do you mean?
Think about that one.
Right?
I don't want to be better.
A lot of people dance.
I
so
forgot
that
that's
they
why
get
you
better.
dance. I haven't thought about
That's
that.
such a good example that there are so many options that wasn't
my
even
God.
on your radar.
I had no idea. Okay, that was a real wake up call right now. Forgot why dance is a thing. I forgot why people do it.
It's real.
Wow.
I was like, you don't have to aspire. You can fully dance for 1,000 reasons, but maybe just enjoyment of your body, and discovery of what it can do.
Yeah.
Enter the Seaweed Sisters. That's all we do is discover what's happening in here.
Yeah.
But that was a whoa moment for her.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm telling 3 stories at once, but your schedule, you're prolific, you do a lot, you have a lot of responsibilities. And I'm so curious about if you calendar your time. Do you just do what comes to mind first? How? Exactly.
Someone was beeping their horn. They want to hear the answer real bad.
Tell us.
I think I'm naturally very organized. Like I'm not forgetful. I'm not clumsy. I'm not like, I think I'm naturally very relaxed and like, oh, I got to do this today. I'll do it. I guess that helps. But I think my thing is I really don't like stressing over things. So I don't look at things as like that stressful. And maybe that's just because that's how I cope with it. So I've trained myself to do that. So, but I am pretty busy. But I've also somehow, thankfully, created this world for myself where I'm in full control for the most part. I'm in 90% control of what I do.
Like you set your schedule. You don't decide the shoot time of the commercial that you're doing, but you decide what commercials you do. You decide what projects you say yes to, and how much you take on, and when your deadlines are. Yeah,
and this has changed in the last 5 years drastically because I used to rely on many agents and managers and stuff, and now I'm like basically all on my own. I do have an agent for dance, and I do have an agent for commercial acting, but just the way that Hollywood has been in the last couple of years, I have almost forgotten that I have those because I don't get auditions barely anymore, and a lot of people have gone through that since the strike and everything.
Yeah, it's been a slow recovery since
that's
strike.
Like the 10% of my career that is not in my control, where I will get an audition and I have to do it at this time, and it's hard to change it, and I won't change it. I'm like, okay, 4 p.m. tomorrow, I have to do a self-tape. That's the part I don't have control. Every other part of my life, I have full control. I don't report to anyone. And I've kind of worked my butt off to make sure that I have that because I know that that's where I thrive. So if I am doing any other like personal work, like even if it's, emailing people for like an opportunity or something, I think I just kind of get it done. Yeah. But I do everything from home. And me and Ryan, who's my partner, we both really prioritize downtime. Yeah. So I think a lot of people love the feeling of being busy and you prioritize work. And I've just always prioritized downtime so much. So like I get the work done real quick so I can literally sit down for 10 hours at home and play with the bunnies. Yeah. Bake a cake.
Watch Spaced.
Not yet.
That was
oh my God, I was thinking of Ted Lasso today because at World Market they had some things and I was like, oh my God, I've got to watch that too.
You have to watch Ted Lasso. I'm like, I know. You've had Spaced for a long time now. Fortunately, I have already watched all seasons multiple times, so I'm not watching it.
Tell what happened?
Yeah.
I have your DVD.
Correct.
And that's it. I've had it for 10 years.
Yeah. So in your next downtime, nudge that to the top
like now, tonight.
Cool. Let's go. What's next? What is this?
Okay, this is fairy bread. However, usually, sprinkles in Australia are a little bit different, and we call them hundreds and thousands. They're a little bit smaller, so
hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, there's hundreds and thousands of them.
That's kind of that's what
mouthful.
We call. I much prefer sprinkles.
Me too.
Okay, great.
So this is like maybe it tastes a little bit different, but this is a really typical party bread. At any birthday party as a kid, you would have fairy bread.
Okay, well, it's Riley's birthday, so I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah,
one.
you have that.
And then I'm just gonna have a bite of that.
Yeah.
You want more of that? Okay, cheers! Happy birthday!
Cheers! Happy birthday! This is just white bread, butter, and sprinkles.
It's like a poor man's donut. You know what I mean?
It's just basically.
Actually, I prefer this to a donut. Yeah, me too. Oh no, I'm gonna finish that.
Really? Should I do a good job cooking it?
Also, this bread, whatever this bread is,
you can keep it. You can keep it.
I should not. I don't keep it in the house. I don't buy bread and I don't buy cereal.
This is
for exactly this reason because I become unhinged.
Toast at 3 a.m. is really fun.
Wow.
And it makes the aroma is so nice if you don't burn it.
Wow. This is gonna be hard. Okay, we're about to go into a rapid fire round. Are you ready for this? Okay.
Yes.
I call it wrist roll with it.
Okay.
I love it so much. Okay. It starts out either or, and then we're gonna get a little bit more intense.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
What was your first dance job?
Dance job?
For money. Like, what was the first time you got paid to dance?
I mean, not as a kid, like I did a couple of gigs, but actually my first actual professional was dancing for Kanye West in Australia.
Fun fact.
He toured to Australia. We did the American tour like choreography, but just they used locals. So
That's
yeah.
wild.
I think I was 16 or 17.
Love that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dance move?
Oh my gosh. I have none. I feel like you asked me this last time and I probably said like
I probably did.
I don't know. I mean, I love a little
Up
a
and
groove.
down.
A groove. That's
Yes,
not that groovy.
A groove
Just like
and probably a disco groove. Somewhere
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
very
funky
you're
groove.
like a go-go / disco era kind of mover.
I am at
see
the
that.
moment. I love that.
Yeah, I see that very much for you. If there was a movie made about your life, who would play you?
Guys, all I can think about is Jim Carrey.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. And if you got to portray a famous person, who would it be? I know. Well, I know what I want the answer to be.
Really? You have to tell me because I don't know anything. I do. I mean, if we're going off look, I would have to be Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, shit. Okay, that was not where I was going, but yes.
Okay, where are you going? Because I don't know. I can't answer
And
that.
fucking Margaret.
Oh my God. I would have to
dying
snatch up for that one.
I'm dying for that to happen.
Wait, are you kidding?
I'm dying for that to happen. In Viva Las Vegas.
Oh yeah,
And
that
fucking Margaret. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So,
I love
channeling that also.
I better
for
do
you.
some more side by sides with Anne Margaret just to put it out in the
Yes,
world.
please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. I gotta remember that.
And if you need somebody to play Elvis, I can do that
I was
for you.
like already booked.
Come on. What's your favorite store? As somebody who
Oh my God, my favorite store. I love the supermarket and like TJ Maxx, Ross. Oh, I just love.
I really
Love it every
Marshalls,
time.
Ross, TJ Maxx.
Feels amazing.
I have now that I'm like in my 30s, Nordstrom Rack, man. Whoa.
Oh, that's upscale. I'm gonna
Really
get there
is
now.
Upscale.
I'm in my early 30s. I should be
young
there.
Still, you're young. Who's your dream collaboration you get to make with someone or something? A dream collabo. Go.
Actually, IKEA was. I did work with them recently.
On like a
Probably not going
official-
to say the next part because I forgot this is a public podcast.
Totally. Yeah. That's fine.
I would like it if I had more creative direction.
Oh, fair.
No, I mean, I think not necessarily people, but yeah, brands and stuff that I just like love. Like I love IKEA.
Your guys from back home in Australia.
Yeah,
Good guys.
good guys.
Good guys.
Chocolate brand.
Ooh, yes, that's right. You have to do
Cadbury.
that.
Please.
Come on. Who's your art hero? While you're thinking, I'm going to enjoy whatever this last thing is.
Okay, that's a Tim Tam, just original flavor.
Original Tim Tam.
Okay, but I always say this, and I think he crosses over into art hero because he's just an artist in general, and he has been my hero since I was a little kid, is Frank Woodley. He's an Australian comedian, and he was really famous from this duo, Leno and Woodley, and he's like physical comedian, he's a musician, he's an actor, he's a writer, director, he is a physical artist too.
Dang.
And yeah, he does it all, and that's what made me want to do it all. Yeah.
Very good answer to that question. And the original Tim Tam is very good also, but I prefer the...
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. Before we do your final thoughts, I'm going to give you my awards from the charcuterie.
Okay.
Charcuterie awards.
Shakira.
I don't
Awards.
like that word at all. I liked everything that I tried.
That's amazing.
I think I have to deprioritize the original Tim Tam.
Yeah.
Wow. Just because of this particular spread and because I'm a sweet tooth, we'll put the Vegemite by itself after that. Vegemite with cheddar goes on top of that. So that's next. Kit Kat with Milo. Bronze is going to be the Caramello Koala. Silver is Tim Tam with caramel. Caramel. And number one gold
Yes.
prize is this beverage that I wish I've had this whole time.
So Bundaberg, which is a place in Australia that's really popular for that, but usually it's like you just order it at a bar, but this is like pre-packaged. But they now sell Bundaberg ginger beer at all the Ralphs.
Oh yeah, I've seen that brand
So
before.
this is the same, but it's the lemon lime bitters, which is only at Cost Plus.
Wow.
Really
You've
yummy.
Cracked my world open with that. I love it.
Yay!
Oh!
Fairy bread.
It's really up there. Oh, was this bronze? Caramel Barrel? Whatever. He's a bear. Caramel Barrel.
Yeah,
Whatever.
the
This
Baramel.
guy would get demoted. The Caramel Tim Tam would be bronze. Fairy bread silver. It was
you
really, really good.
serious?
Fairy bread, you really nailed. It's like the bread
I'm a
ratio,
chef.
the bread itself. So good. It was like how I want donuts to be.
Oh my gosh, I'm really proud of myself.
I'm
And I'm really proud of you for taking it all in
almost all of it, yeah.
and not crying over Vegemite. And awarding Fairy Bread second place is really, that's good on you, Australia.
Next time I'll do it with the real sprinkles. Millions and trillions. What is it?
Hundreds and thousands.
There it is.
Tens and 20s.
I think big, my friends. I think big.
You know what else I have that's Australian?
Tell me.
Unfortunately, you're not going to keep this.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of valuable. But I just realized I had this. $50 note.
Ooh.
We say note instead of bill.
You say night.
And it's you can't rip it. Try to rip it.
know, 'cause
Don't
they're-
try too hard.
They're plastic.
Yeah.
They have that inside little tidbit. It's beautiful. Who's the guy?
I don't know.
Amazing. Who's the lady?
It's not my mom. Don't know who
Great
that
answer.
is.
Great answer.
Oh, there's my headshot. Oh.
Okay. Love
Anyway,
that.
that's
Thank you
it.
for sharing. That's your cultural enrichment for the day, everyone. Okay. Final question for you, my friend. What are the words that move you?
What are
Like a guiding principle, a poem, a mantra, an affirmation, or just straight up words that you,
know what?
find?
I remember last time
Yeah.
was just post it.
Yes.
I was like, just post it.
Oh my God, yes, such an important.
I still live by that. I'm like, yeah, just post it. You never know. It could change your life, and it has changed my life from just posting it. And then I think on top of that, I know this sounds negative. I probably said this the same way, but like, no one cares.
God, I love that.
It doesn't
What are
matter.
the
No
words
one
that
cares.
move you? No one cares.
Okay, that sounds really negative.
No. It's both, and both are true.
No one cares, so have fun with it. But also, be your biggest fan, your own biggest fan. I think we have to do that. Self-love, like actual, not just like, I love who I am. I
Not
love my
just
hair.
like
no, like,
putting on a face mask, but like get into you.
yeah. And like realistically, I'm very realistic. Like I love my own self and I love the work that I do. I will not love it if I try to sing, if I try to do something I'm not good at. No. Realistically, I love what I'm doing because it's stuff that I can do.
It shows.
Makes it
And
easier.
I think by tangent, it is contagious. I love watching it. I do think people, especially this generation, can sniff out authenticity and can
Yes.
tell when somebody's doing something because they should or because they have to or because they were paid to.
Yeah.
I can tell that you enjoy yourself and it's in the B-roll. It's in your face. It's just, it's so much fun to watch.
Yay.
Thank you for doing all of the things that you do. Thank you for being here today.
Thank
and for
you.
And for catering also.
Yes, I am the catering company.
Thank you also Cost Plus, unofficial sponsor of today's Australian Food Olympic Games.
Smash the like button, the subscribe button, check out all the links, and follow Dana and listen to the next week's episode as well.
What she said, but also keep it funky.
Keep it funky.
Later. This podcast was produced by me with the help of many. Big love to our executive assistant and editor, Riley Higgins. Our communications manager is Ori Valladares. Our music is by Max Winnie. Logo and brand design by Bree Reitz. Thumbnails and marketing by Fiona Small. You can make your tax-deductible donations to Words That Move Me, thanks to our fiscal sponsor, the Dance Resource Center. And also, many thanks to you. I'm so glad you're here, and if you're digging the pod, please share it. Leave a review and rating. And if you want to coach with me and the many marvelous members of the Words That Move Me community, visit wordsthatmoveme.com. If you're simply curious to know more about me and the work I do outside of this podcast, visit thedanawilson.com.